Yeah, it's your boy Ray on the mic. Let's go.
Mic check, mic check. Welcome to On the Mic with Ray White, where we share life lessons, encourage self-reflection, and equip you to take action. My name is Ray White, and I am juiced that you're taking time to listen to this episode today. And we excited, y'all. I'm excited all the time. Every time I come to the opportunity to come on the mic, I get excited just because this is just a chance to get to share a little bit about what I'm learning, what I'm experiencing, what are the things that I'm processing and want to share with you all to hopefully equip you, encourage you, to empower you, whatever that may be, to take action in the goals that you are setting out to do. Before we get to that point, make sure that you check out the community gear that is set up. You see the boy wearing the Community Solution sweatshirt. We got sweatshirts, we got tanks, we got shirts, we got all the things at redmondwhite.net/shop. I'll make sure to drop that in the show notes and in the comments below so you can check that out too. But before we continue on, I wanted to drop that in there. But today's episode is just talking a little bit about your need to show up. It's simple. I've talked about this before, but I got to bring it back again because I recently went on a small little board retreat with a local nonprofit here in town, and I ran across some folks who are part of the board, who are part of the organization I'm with, that's serving the community, and they were saying like, "Yo, like I have a son who's just starting college, and I listened to one of your early episodes, and it talked about how you struggled in college." And I'm like, "Yo, they need to hear this. Like, they need to hear this episode." And I'm like, dang, I did that. I like low-key forgot. But I remember, there's a couple things I remembered in that season was like, yo, I remember doing that episode because that was one of my very first episodes of this podcast of sharing how I almost failed college and was about to flunk out or just pretty much abandon my responsibilities to do something completely different, but then realized that I need to face my fears, be accountable for what I was supposed to do, and actually do the thing I was supposed to do, as in go to class, do the tutoring, learn all the work and whatnot, be able to pace myself to the work, and be able to graduate on time like I was supposed to. I share all that. I'll drop that specific podcast in the show notes. But essentially, like that, me sharing that story was impactful in a way that helped just like somebody say, yo, like somebody else can hear this. Somebody is in this position right now who may feel like they're not in, who may feel like they're in a rut, or may feel like they don't feel like they belong, or feel like they're alone in this particular situation and nobody has the same experience as they do. What I hope to bring in this podcast is like we all have a similar experience, some context, and my experience may be directly related or somewhat tied, but at least there's some connection there, just some empathy there. There's some same level of like, I've been there, or I know what you're going through. You're not alone. Let's come together, right? And what I want to come on this podcast is just to encourage you all to share your story in whatever medium that makes sense for you. It might be a podcast. It might be a social media post. It might be your own video, a vlog. It might be writing a blog. It may just be speaking to people, or having like in large masses, or having a one-on-one conversation with somebody who is directly like in a mentorship mentee connection. But regardless of what that looks like, find a way to share that story. Find a way to share the lessons that you have, because your lessons, your story, your connection, the things that you've gone through could help somebody avoid the pitfalls that you experienced. Your experience could be the key to unlock somebody's door to something that they never even thought of. But if we hoard that in, if we keep that within ourselves, sure, it will benefit us in our own growth and journey, right? But what we could potentially miss out on, or the next generation could miss out on, the insight that you have on the journey that they have, right? On the shoes that you've been in. Like, you've been in their shoes. You've been in that experience. What did you learn? What would you tell that person who were once in your shoes? If you were to go back, if I was to go back 10 years from now, so hold on, 31. Okay, so if I was to go back, your boy get old. If I was to go back like 14, 15 years ago, or even 10 years ago, whatever, y'all. If I was to go back to the day, to freshman Ray, and be like, Ray, don't do these things, do these things. You can't have fun here, but remember the consequences, or remember the repercussions that you will receive here. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would feel like, okay, cool. One, I was already coachable, and I'll continue to be coachable. So I'll be like, okay, I can at least recognize game. And be like, all right, I got to do something different. But then two, like, that would then be able to give me the insight that I needed to ensure that I do not see the same pitfalls. And that doesn't mean that I won't make mistakes, but I can shortcut those mistakes to see the success quicker, or avoid any mishap that I would have received. And actually, I had a little bit of that. So even in that season where I was in college, there were some times where I was like, okay, I know that if I do this action, it will draw greater problems for me than if I was to avoid it. So I did avoid a few things because of the voices of the mentors that spoke to me prior to college, and even in college, or even being coachable and observant of those around me and realizing I don't want that life. Or I do want that life. I do want what they're doing, and let me follow what they're doing, right? And then, part of life is you kind of figure it out, what works, what doesn't work, and then you move forward. But still, the ability to be coachable and to look around and to intake the voices and to repel the voices that going towards the goal that you want to strive towards is necessary. But then now, as we fast forward and we see ourselves in this position of hindsight, how could we package the message and the knowledge that we learned to be able to share that with those who are currently in that situation in a state? So I say that two things. One, thank y'all for listening to this podcast. Thank y'all for listening to my reflections and lessons. I hope to bring more. I will bring more to you all as I go forward. Actually, I've been looking at all my old journals right now. There's a bunch over here, and I'm like, yo, there's some stuff in there that I'm like, yeah, I gotta package that. But the thank you for listening, but then also to encourage you to use your voice in a way that makes sense, that gives you the use your gifting and skill set to share that knowledge with the next generation, because they need to hear that from you too. I think that I know I'm gonna do my part through this medium, through this avenue, to share the lessons that I've learned to help engage the next generation, what I'm learning. And then even, I say jokingly that this is a reminder for me, but I do hope that my reminders are reminders for you, or are lessons for you to take the next step in a positive step, right? To the next step, all the steps. But I want to encourage you all to do the same thing too. And you can encourage one another to use your gift, use your voice to share that in whatever fashion that looks, in the gifts that you've been given, in the paths and channels that you've been given as well. So I just want to come on real quick to share that with you all, that I'm super grateful that people are listening. I'm super grateful that folks are engaging with this content and even considering how they can share that with their folks that they love. And I also want to encourage that those who do have a story to share, because one, we all have one, but those who have a story to share that can impact the next generation, to share that, and then the next generation to listen to it. Take the lessons and listen to other people who have the same lessons, compare them, being able to pull them together, piece them together, because there's some wisdom there that we can take for ourselves, so that way we could see success quicker, or more so just be on a straighter path. moving forward, whether that, yes, is towards success. The straighter the path, the greater the success, right? So if we can quickly get to that point and avoid any pitfalls that would be our demise, that would be phenomenal. And the best way to do that is to be coachable and listening to those stories. So quickly, sure, I'm saying that. Be sure to check out on the rest of the On the Mic Ray White podcast on all social media platforms where you listen to your podcast. Follow me at Ray Devontae on all social platforms. Be sure to get your community gear as well. Hoodie season is right here. We in the hoodie season, y'all. It's raining in Oregon, so y'all get your hoodies. You know what I'm saying? Rock around the community, let them know. Hey, yo, community solution. But another way is to buy me some coffee. Buy me some coffee. I'm in the season where I want to connect with people. I really want to engage with you. Buy me some coffee. Let's talk. That is more than just a coffee, just a dine and dash. Just like, yo, let's have a coffee. Let's have a conversation. I want to get to know you. I want to connect with you. I want to be able to see what it is that you're striving towards and find a way to partner on that, or find a way to encourage you and to promote you in that way as well. So buy me some coffee. I'll drop that link in the show notes. You can just send me a Venmo right here. Wait, let me do it again. Right here. If you watch it on YouTube, give me some Venmo. Shoot me a Venmo, or in the show notes, you'll see where the pathway to doing that is. We'll get some coffee. We can have a conversation. It'll be pretty dope to connect with you and find ways that we can continue to share our story and help engage and encourage the next generation of leaders to be successful in our community. All right. Be sure to share your story with others, and I will talk to you all soon on the next episode. Peace.